Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Bill Management System. Today is our lecture number 17, and in today's lecture I am going to demonstrate how can you add suppliers within your bill management system. So let's start and have a look what we have today. Alright, before going on the software, let me first tell you that you have to first create the table inside your database, that is the bill management system database, and in this table you have to create some columns that are supplier ID, supplier name, supplier address, supplier phone, supplier email, and whatever extra details you wish to add you can. Okay, so this is the thing that you must create first. So let us execute this. Commands completed successfully. Now the next thing is to insert the supplier inside the supplier table. So you have to create this stored procedure that is for insert. I hope you understood what I have done here. So let me execute, and then I have the update supplier code, so let me show you that as well. So select this and execute it. So the update procedure is also done, and now the delete one, so delete. So these are the stored procedures that we have created. Now one more thing that we have to do here is we have to specify the other table, that is supplier ledger, because from supplier we are purchasing something. Okay, so in order to maintain the accounting format here in bill management system, we have to create the ledger for the supplier as well. Okay, so in order to record the amounts that we are dealing with, so create table, and we have to create another table, supplier ledger. Okay, and inside this ledger you have to add these columns. Let me show you what columns I should add. So supplier ID, supplier ledger ID, and then the supplier ID, and then description, debit, credit, balance, and all the things. Okay, so first column should be supplier ledger underscore ID. That should be big integer, not null, identity, and primary key, and then supplier ledger underscore supplier ID, and it should be integer, not null, and then it should be the foreign key as well. So foreign key, references, and then the table name should be supplier, and then the column name should be supplier underscore ID. On delete, no action. On update, no action, in order to persist the security, okay, in SQL. So that's it. Now after supplier ID, then we have to create a description column. So description, and then it should be varchar 200 maximum, not null, and then supplier underscore debit, if the amount is debiting inside this. So money is the data type, and it should also be not null. You can use float as well, but I'm using here money because it is a good data type. So not null, and then specify. Okay, one thing that I must mention here is on delete, no action. On update, no action. That is why the error was coming. Now it's fine. Okay, so SL underscore credit. Now credit, it should also be money and not null, and then we have to specify the balance. So supplier ledger underscore balance, and it should be of data type money and not null, and then SL underscore date of transaction on which you are taking the amount or giving the amount. It should also be not null, and then the last thing is the, here you can see in the customer ledger we have the sale invoice ID, because customer is dealing with the sale invoice, but here we are dealing with the supplier. So with supplier we are dealing with the purchases. Okay, so here it should be the purchase invoice ID. So though I don't have any purchase invoice table right now, but I should create that table as well. So before creating this supplier ledger, I should have the purchase invoice as well. Okay, so let us create first. I'm stopping at this point. Let us first create the purchase invoice table. So create table purchase invoice. Okay, and whatever the purchases we are doing, it should be recorded here. So purchase invoice underscore ID, that should be big integer, not null, identity, and primary key. sorry, identity and primary key. Now the next thing is the purchase invoice underscore supplier ID, from whom I am going to purchase my goods. I hope it is clear to everyone. So supplier ID, and then not null, and then sorry, data type should be there, it should be integer, yes, integer, and then there should be the relationship with the supplier as well. So the foreign key reference should be there. So copy this thing and paste here in the purchase invoice as well. Okay, now let me zoom it out so that you can be able to see it clearly. Right, now the next step is to create the purchase invoice underscore date of purchase, not null, and the next thing is purchase invoice underscore. Now when we are purchasing the products, where should we store the products? And on one purchase invoice we have multiple products. That means products, not only multiple products cannot store inside this same table. So that means that we need another table for storing the products with that purchase invoice. Okay, so here date, supplier ID and purchase invoice ID are created already. What else we should add here? One more column that we have to add here is the user ID for this purchase invoice, and it should be let us go to the users here, the operators of the software, and the data type here is integer. So you have to specify integer, and then you have to specify foreign key as well, because there is the relationship with the user. So copy and then paste it here, but here the name of the table should be users, and the column name should be u underscore id. That's it. So that's my purchase invoice, guys. Together we are doing so many tasks, so don't get confused. These are the requirements that we are doing. Okay, so execute. Purchase invoice table created successfully. Now we can be able to add purchase invoice ID here inside our supplier ledger. Okay, so here you can specify sl underscore purchase invoice ID, and here you can specify big int, because the purchase invoice ID is in big int, and then you have to specify the reference to this table. So you can specify here reference, and here you can specify purchase. Let me copy the name of this table, purchase invoice, and then the column name, that is pi underscore id. So that's it, and no update, no delete. I hope it is clear up till now. So now we can be able to execute this supplier ledger. Let us execute. So look, commands completed successfully after doing all this. Now the next step is we have to create some more tables. Of course, when we are purchasing something, what is that something? We have to store that products as well. So let us create the table of products, and when we are creating the table of products, we have to specify the quantity of the table, the product, and the remaining the related things of that particular product inside some other table, that is the stock management. So we have to create the stock table as well. Okay, so let us create the table of products. Create table and then products. Okay, so products, what I'm doing today, products, yes. Now that's fine. Pro underscore id, that will become the big integer, not null. Why I'm using big integer? Because I want a long term software, and the range of the big integer is so huge, so large. You can check it on Google, and then you can understand how much data we can add inside this big integer. So product ID, not null, identity, and then primary key, and then that's it. That becomes the primary key. Now product underscore name, that should be unique. No product can be repeated again and again, and the data type should be varchar 100 if the product name is longer, okay, than usual. So now product underscore, what should you add here? Product underscore price, but which price? Buying price, because you are buying something. Okay, then you change the price of that product later on, add your profit margin, and then so on. So buying price, and here you specify money, and it should be not null. After that the next step is product ID and then product price, and then yes, product underscore So here you can specify selling price as well. By default we can make it 0 because we are not going to sell right now. So here it should be money and it should be not null, and it should, the default value of this column should be 0. Here you can specify the default value as 0. So if you do not enter these the values in these columns, the default value should become 0 inside this. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now the product name is there, product buying and selling price is there, and the next thing that we should have to specify here is product underscore size. That should be tiny integer. So you might be thinking why I am taking size. Guys, this product that I am creating in front of you, the bill management system, I am targeting the garments industry. Okay, so I am creating this product table with respect to the garments industry. So let's say you are purchasing some shirts, some pants, or some other shorts, let's say. So that pant, that shirt, that short should have a size. Okay, so that should be small, large, medium, extra large, whatever size it should be. So tiny integer, why I am taking, so to reduce the database size. This is the backend work, and on 0 I will store small, on 1 I will store medium, on 2 I will store large, and on 3 I will store XL, and so on. See, so not null, and then specify a comment here that is dash dash. 0 is for small, so that you can be able to remember. 1 is for medium, and then respectively you can carry on. Okay, 2 is for large, and 3 is for extra large, and 4 is for extra large. I hope it is clear to everyone. So this is the maximum size capacity that I will use. Now the next step is to provide the color of that particular material that you are purchasing. So color, now color can be of a huge variety. We cannot make it we cannot make automation here, because 0, 1, 2, I don't know the software user will add which color. Okay, there is a huge variety of colors. So instead of doing tiny integer, we can simply write here varchar 15 and not null. So you can specify the color. Okay, and then the next step is, yes, one thing I must mention here, that guys, when we are talking about the garments industry, so one product, let's say we are buying some shirts, so one shirt can be of multiple colors. So if there is a multiplicity, then we should separate this color table and we should store the color inside the separate table. I hope it is clear to everyone. So one product can have multiple colors. Okay, so for that purpose I am removing this color from here, and then you can specify. And one more thing, yes, the size. You are buying, let's say, the same product for medium, you are buying the same product for large, you are buying the same product for extra large, let's say. So it should also be stored on a separate table. Okay, so you can remove this size as well from this part. So guys, you have to think in a very detailed manner so that you can be able to avoid mistakes later on. So guys, after this, let us create this, and then after creating the products table, one more thing that we skipped here is the purchase invoice. So, this product is purchased against which purchase invoice? We have to add there as well. So here one column you should add. Okay, I have just executed this query, so I have to alter this. Alter products, alter table, products, and then add a column that should be pro underscore purchase invoice, and it should be big integer, not null, and here it should be reference. So let me copy that reference here, copy, and then paste. So after references you have to specify here purchase invoice. Let me copy the purchase invoice table. This is the linking of the database. And now pi underscore id, if I am not wrong, the purchase invoice, yes, So what will happen, every product belongs to a particular purchase invoice ID. So that's the relationship how you are creating with your purchase invoice with this product. So now let us add this product underscore purchase invoice column inside the products table. Now that's fine. The next step is to create a separate table for product color and product size. Okay, so create table product color and size. Okay, you are purchasing blue color shirts of size this, you are purchasing red color shirts of size this. Alright, so create table color and size, and then come inside this, and here you can specify product color size underscore ID, and then it should be integer, but I'm not taking integer because the records are many. So not null, identity, primary key, and then PCS underscore product ID, and then it should be big integer if I'm not wrong. Yes, product ID is big integer and should be the reference column. So copy and paste, and here you can specify products, copy and paste, and pro ID should be the column that I'm going to reference. Okay, and here on delete specify cascade. When you delete the product, the size and the quantity should also be deleted. Okay, so I'm doing this on update cascade. Simple. Now that's on should be on one line. Now the next line should be after this PCS underscore pro underscore, what else we need to add here? Yes, color, and it should be varchar 30 if you have multiple colors, green, blue, red, orange and all that. So that's the thing, but the problem is it's a good practice to add a single color. It should be more beneficial. Now color, and then PCS underscore size, it should be tiny integer. Okay, so that's fine, and these things should be not null as well. So big integer, not null, and then here it should be not null, and it should be not null because every product has a size and every product has a color. One more thing that we have to add is the quality of the, because when we are dealing with the purchasing, so we are buying multiple quality products, category or quality A, quality B, the first class quality, the second class quality, or the third class quality, whatever you can say. So where should we add the quality? Again, we have to head towards the products table. So here I want to add another column. So alter table, add column, and copy and paste. So what I wanted to add, quality, 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 and it should be varchar 10. You can specify whatever you can you wanted to specify, bad quality, average quality, good quality, A1 quality, excellent quality, whatever data you wanted to add. Okay guys, one more thing that I must tell you, that it is not a good way to specify quality here, because I am doing on a live basis. The recording is there, I am doing it live, so there are so many suggestions and the and the thoughts that are coming in the mind. So I was thinking about this, that why I am adding quality as a varchar. In fact, I should create a table with the quality of product quality, and then we'll add quality at once, and then we'll store the quality as a ID here in the software. So create table product quality, and then come inside, and then PQ underscore ID, and it should be small integer because qualities are not so many. Okay, you can use integer as well, it's more than enough. And then not null, and then identity, and then it should be primary key, and then product quality underscore what name, the name is for, let's say, good, bad, average, excellent, A1 quality, whatever. So varchar 20, not null, and unique, so that you cannot be able to add multiple same qualities inside the database. Each and everything should be handled by the database. This is a good practice. Now that's it. So product quality, the ID and the name is added. That's it, nothing to add in this table. Product quality. Now this product quality should be added here inside the products. So alter table, add product quality ID pro underscore PQ ID, and that should be integer, and it should be referenced with the foreign key because it has a table. So product quality, now references, and here you can specify the quality table, copy, and inside the products you have to add this and PQ underscore ID, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it's PQ underscore ID. So you have again referenced the product with the product quality table. So on delete you have to cascade because these are small things, and on update you are going to cascade. Yes, that's it. So let's add it again. Now the next thing is the product category, from which category the product is going to be. So here we have to create another table. So create table product category. Either the product is the silk product, or it is the cotton product, or it is which fabric it is using inside that product. You can add that as well. So product category underscore ID, that should be integer and not null, and it should be identity, that's the base that we are trying to do, primary key, and then PC underscore category name, it should be varchar 30, not more than that, and then null, and then it should be unique, and then that's it. So the category is there. Now this category ID will be added inside the product. Okay, so execute this, and now copy this code and paste here inside the products table, and now here you can specify the pro underscore PC ID, that is the product category ID. References should be with product category. So copy and paste. You might be wondering, I have mentioned the suppliers on the startup screen, but I am doing so much stuff, guys. This is software, and this is a lot of this softwares have a lot of things within it, so don't worry about that, and sorry for that as well. Okay, now copy this and come here inside the products, and here inside product category you have changed the column name. Now on delete, yes, when you delete the product, sorry, it should not be deleted. When the category will be deleted, this means that when the category will be deleted, all the products of that category will be deleted. This means that, okay, so it's fine. So execute it, commands completed successfully. Now what's next? After doing all this, one thing that is still remaining, that is the product stock. If we are doing so much database stuff right now, we have to add the stock as well. So create table product stock, and then come inside PS underscore ID, that should be big int and not null, identity, and then primary key. After that, PS underscore pro ID, that should be big int, not null, and then in the stock the product cannot be the same product cannot be repeated again. Okay, every time you are purchasing a new product, so you can make this product ID unique here as well, and you can make it as a foreign key as well, because yes, it belongs to that product table. So let us copy this, okay, and come here and paste it. So references with the products table with this column. On delete cascade, on update cascade, instead of cascade you write here no action, and here you can specify no action. Alright, so what will happen when someone tries to delete a product, and if the stock of that product exists, then it will not be deleted. The stock will not be deleted. Okay, now the product will not be deleted, sorry. Now PS underscore quantity, QUANTITY, it should be big int. Let's say if you are in hundreds of thousands of things, by the way, it is not necessary, but you can use quantity as integer as well, because at a time you are buying thousands of products, you are not buying millions of products together. Okay, so it's integer is enough for me, it's your choice. Now after quantity, what else you need to add here inside the stock? Alright, so that these are the things that we have to add. Now I'm creating this table as well. So stock, I am executing. So commands completed successfully, all the tables are now created. And now let me show you the big picture here inside the Object Explorer. So close everything, refresh the tables folder and see what tables we have created. We have created right now the supplier table, the supplier ledger table, and we have created the products table, products quality table, products category table, and we have created the purchase invoice table, and so on. So guys, these all are the things that are required to do further inside the bill management system. Hope you have understood up till now, and the next phase is to add in the software that we have here already. We have to add first suppliers, or we have to add products, whatever. Okay, so first of all we are going to do or create the supplier screen. So right click on your BMS, add new Windows form, and then select your write your name. Windows form is already selected, so that's your supplier window. So supplier window, and then click add. A form is created in front of you. Now it's time for inheritance, the object oriented concept. So I'm going to add here sample2, that is my base class or my parent class, and my supplier window is created automatically. Okay, so that's the benefit of inheritance. Close this solution explorer so you can able to see it properly. Now let's go to the supplier table and see what we have inside the supplier table. So inside supplier we have name, address, phone and email. So let us take it label, and then you have to take a text box, okay, and then increase its size, it's enough, and then copy and then paste and paste and paste. That's it. So label 5, it should be there. Arrange it accordingly. Okay, so this is the design part, guys. I'm not going to waste my time inside the recording, so I'm designing, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have created this UI in front of you people. I have picked up some text boxes, I have given the labels these respective names as per my database, and then I have renamed these text boxes with my appropriate names. If you can see here, name text, address text, phone text, email text, and then the opening balance, because we are in the accounting software, right? So all the things are now set. Accordingly, I have changed the maximum length of these text boxes as per my database lengths of the table, so you can match that and change the lengths as per your database. Then one more thing for validation, you have to specify here, you select all text boxes and then make them enabled false by default, because that's the general practice we are doing inside this software. Now the next step is to right click here and then go to the code, and here inside this code you have to specify and override the functions. Okay, so enter here and go to the sample2 and come here inside the class of the sample2, and instead of add and edit you have to copy, save, delete, view, search. That's it. So copy it and then come here and paste it, and instead of virtual you have to replace it with override in the current document. So I have overridden the function. This is an object oriented concept known as polymorphism. So overriding I am doing, where the body of the method will change and the method name remains the same, the parameters remains the same. So now what you have to do, you have to go on another window. Let me open roles window, let's say, and go to its code, and here you can see on the save button I have first validated whether my controls are blank or not. So I'm copying this if condition. I have already demonstrated and explained in front of you people what is this and all the thing that is going on. So see previous lectures if you do not understand this. So main class, I have created the check controls method that will check whether my controls are empty or not. So copy this function and go to the suppliers window. This is the quick stuff that you have to do. Okay, now main class is not added here, so press Ctrl dot and add it inside your code. So using CMS is my folder name. Now else, if nothing is left blank, then come inside, and then what you have to do, you have to do this. So copy it and come here inside the supplier window and paste it here. So what I have done, I have copied and pasted the save code and the update code. When the edit variable becomes 0, then create a hash table. Okay, let us create a hash table here using system.collection is the namespace, and now the parameters. Let us go to the database and see the insert parameters: name, address, phone, and email. So come here and specify name, and specify name here, or you can specify supplier text. Yes, copy, and then the second parameter, this is the universal CRUD operation. I hope you people are familiar with the universal CRUD operation that we have done. And if you are not familiar with the universal CRUD operation, you can see the universal CRUD operation tutorial on YouTube in my channel. So after name we have address, and then we have phone, and then we have email. Copy and paste. After this you have to write here address text, then you have to write here phone text, and then you have to write here email text, and then you have to import the module, that is the CRUD module. I hope you understand what is the CRUD module. Inside this I have created this function, and I have to pass my procedure here. So insert supplier will be my procedure, and that is pasted here. Now here you can specify subtext added successfully into the system. Now load roles. I don't have any load roles function, so let us copy that load roles function here, and this is copied. Now go on the top and then paste it here. You can specify supplier ID for later purposes, for future purposes, and load suppliers is the, sorry for that, I have mistakenly pressed the caps lock. Now load suppliers, and here you are passing the column names of the data grid view, but you do not have the grid view here. So copy this, come on the supplier and paste it here, and let us add the column names. This is the same thing that I have done so many times before. So supplier ID, and then the supplier name. Okay, supplier, that's it, and the column name should be supplier GV, and here the display name should be supplier ID. So I have done this, and now click OK. So our grid view is already now created, and now let's go to the supplier, and here you can specify supplier ID GV, and the next column you should add here is supplier GV. Simple. Okay, now instead of this you have to use the get suppliers, but I haven't created the get suppliers procedure right now. Okay, so we'll see that. One more column we should add here is the opening balance of the supplier. Let me edit and add a column for opening balance. So OB GV, and here you can specify the heading opening balance. It should be visible and read only, and then click add, and then close, and then click OK. So okay, one thing, that is the reordering of the opening balance. Make it on the last. Now it's fine. Okay, so supplier along with the opening balance, supplier along with the opening balance. Now it's fine. And now let us go to the database and create that stored procedure for get supplier. So create procedure st_get suppliers, and then you have to specify as select from supplier S inner join supplier ledger. So what is the name of that table here? Supplier ledger. Paste it SL, and on SL dot, sorry, S dot supplier ID is equals to SL dot, let me check the column name here of the supplier. So SL underscore supplier ID. So copy it and paste it here. Okay, now the join is successfully created, where S dot SL dot SL underscore description equals to, I am hard coding here, that is opening balance, because the first record is the opening balance. Okay, so I only wanted to view the records of the opening balance, and now here I wanted to select the supplier ID as ID, and then you need supplier name as supplier name as supplier, and then s dot supplier, what else you need? You need the opening balance, so supplier and then the opening balance, so it should be in SL, so SL dot, and then where is the opening balance? It is SL underscore BALANCE balance. Now that's fine. Okay, so execute this query. So all the suppliers will be loaded with their opening balances. Okay, so execute. Commands completed successfully. Now you can use this procedure here inside get suppliers at this point. Okay, get suppliers. Now that's fine. After that you have to specify here load suppliers instead of load roles. Copy this load suppliers, paste it here, and where else? Okay, right now leave it at this point. But one more thing, you are not just only adding suppliers, you are adding the supplier ledger as well, the first record with respect to the ledger. So when the data is inserted successfully, what you can do, you can use the transaction here. So instead of applying transaction here, you can use here using, because you are using multiple tables, transaction scope SC equals to new transaction scope, and then SC dot complete is the function so that the transaction can succeed, and then press control dot, and you can use, what is the problem, transaction. Now that's fine, and press control dot. That was a spelling mistake. Copy and paste, save it. Now what you can do, you can cut this code and put inside the transaction, so that in case of any error the data should be rollbacked or committed. Now edit equals to 0, that's fine. And now the first table record, when the first table record is inserted, then you come inside and then you write here hash table again, the same code, because you are going to insert again. Copy and paste, but this is ht2 and here you are adding ht2. Okay, and for supplier ledger, let us go to the supplier ledger table. Here I have so many things, but the problem here we will face is the purchase invoice ID, because on first time that when you are adding the record, there is no purchase invoice ID. Okay, so guys, that's my supplier table. Here these are the columns, and we should create the stored procedure for this as well. So let us create a stored procedure for insertion of this. So create procedure st underscore insert supplier ledger. Okay, and then we have to add the column name, so let me make it easier for us. Copy it, paste it, and remove these things and paste it here. You are inserting, so ID is not required. After this, this also not required, supplier ID, and then date, and then we need the user ID. No, that's the purchase invoice. I have copied wrong. I need to copy this code, that's the thing. Okay, copy and paste here, remove everything, SL underscore. Okay, remove this all. Okay, because we are creating a stored procedure, that's the thing. ID is not required. Supplier, then debit, and then not null. Remove everything. Okay, remove this as well, remove this as well, and here you can specify at the rate, because these are my column variables. Specify here, and now remove these SL underscore, make it simple. Okay, so these are my columns that I should insert here inside this. Now as insert into supplier ledger, if I'm not wrong, the spelling is correct, yes, but still I am copying. Where was that? Yes, supplier ledger values, and then specify the supplier ID, and then specify the debit variable, and then we have credit, and then we have balance, and then we have date, and then we have purchase invoice. So that's the supplier ledger insertion procedure. And now what it is saying, it is saying that number of columns does not match. Yes, description I have skipped. At the rate description, that should be varchar and 200. So here you can specify 200, and now at this point after supplier ID you have description. So after supplier ID you have description. Let me add the comma here so that the IntelliSense will work. Come here at this point, description. Now execute it. Commands completed successfully. One more create procedure we have to create is create procedure st_get last supplier ID as select from suppliers s order by s dot id descending, and here you can specify s dot supplier ID as ID. So what will happen, the last ID of the supplier will be picked up soon after insertion. So get last supplier ID. Okay, now let's come here, and after insertion we have to first select the ID. So main class dot load, do we have the function? No. Here in main class, let us see the CRUD class. Yes, get last ID. Look, I have already created this function and I have demonstrated definitely. So what it is asking, procedure. So what is the procedure? This one is the procedure, and then pass here. What it is returning? It is returning an object. Okay, so that's more beneficial for us. We can write here supplier ID integer sub ID equals to convert dot to integer 32, because it is returning an object, and then close it. So what will happen? Let me minimize it. Now it's fine. Yes, so after insertion we'll directly get the supplier ID, the last supplier ID that we have just inserted, and now we have to pass here the columns supplier ledger insert. So insert supplier ledger, so first of all supplier ID, remove it, and then debit, paste, then we have to pass here description, then we have credit, copy, paste and paste. After credit we have balance, date, and purchase invoice ID. Though we don't have purchase invoice ID, so we'll store 0 at this point. After balance, copy and paste it, and then copy and paste date. After that date we have purchase invoice ID. Okay, now that's enough. Save it, and now the next step is to give the details. But here, how can you specify that whether the amount that the user has entered is debit or credit? Okay, for that purpose I am specifying a condition here. If convert dot to double, and here you can specify the amount text, that is ob text dot text is greater than 0. If the amount that is entered is greater than 0, okay, then what you can do, you can create 3 variables here, that is double, debit, comma credit, comma balance. Okay, these are the 3 variables. By default you store 0 in these 3, and then here as well. Now if the amount is greater than 0, that means you are debiting inside the, or you are the supplier is in positive mode. Okay, if the amount is in debit, so you can write here debit equals to, the amount was in this text box, so debit is there, credit is equals to 0, and the formula for balance is balance equals to balance plus, by default the balance is 0 right now. Okay, so balance plus debit minus credit, that's the default formula. Okay, after this, else if, copy it and paste it here, and then if you write here less than 0, if the amount that the person has entered in negative number, okay, minus 5,000 let's say, if the amount is in negative, then what you can do, you can copy the same, but here debit should become 0, credit should be this one. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, and but one thing that you have to do, you have to remove the negative sign. You have to remove the negative sign from the number. Okay, for that purpose, for removing negative sign from the number, we use the math class function, that is math.absolute. This is the function that will remove the negativity of the number. Okay, absolute, and then that's it. So math.absolute, it will remove the negativity of the number. If it is a minus 5,000, then it converted to 5,000, and then it will be stored here, because here we have negative already. That's just the UI. We train the user that if you enter negative amount, it will credit, if you enter positive amount, it will be debit. Simple. Okay, so this is what we have done. Else, let's say if someone is entering 0, then what will happen? If greater than this, then debit, if less than this, then credit, but if 0, then everything should be 0. Okay, if the thing is 0, then these variables should be 0. So copy and paste, and here you can specify semicolon, because these are separate lines. That's it. If the amount is equals to 0, or you can mention the condition as well, copy, paste, and you can write here equals to 0. Simple, or 0.00, whatever you can specify for user experience, or 0.00 or 0. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, now it's time to insert here. So debit, simply write debit variable, description, inside description you just write, because this is the first amount, so opening balance, and then the credit one should be the credit, and then the balance should be the balance variable, and then the date is datetime.now. Okay, and then the next thing is purchase invoice ID, it should be 0. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, now the next thing is remove this message. Okay, one thing, that message is there, but where is the procedure? We haven't copied the procedure. We have to copy this now, this thing, and we have to paste it here. So insert what? Supplier ledger. So where is that procedure? Insert supplier ledger, here is it, paste it here, remove the message, because we have already displayed the message at this point. No, we haven't. This message is then correct. After insertion in the supplier ledger, this message will be displayed, and then the suppliers will be loaded. I hope it is clear to everyone. Unable to save record. Now this is the edit part. So guys, this code should be at the top of this. So if I remove this thing and if I put it at the top, then it is more beneficial, because here these debit credit variables can be used at this point as well. Okay, so for updation, what I need, For updation I need the same, copy it, hash table copy and hash table paste. One thing, okay, let's go to the update supplier. Where is that? Supplier update, yes. Copy the query procedure and paste it here. Update supplier, and what else we need to do here is the supplier ID column. So we have to pass the supplier ID as well. Copy and paste, and here you need to specify supplier ID, copy and paste, and here you need to pass supplier ID that I have created at the top. If you remember, supplier ID, that is my integer. Okay, so update supplier, and here you can specify supplier updated, supplier text dot text updated successfully. And now the same task that you have to do, that you have done here now. Okay, what is this? Yes, this should be go on the top. That's fine. Now the next step is you have to create an hash table again. Copy when you are going to update the ledger, the supplier ledger. So come here inside this updation and then paste it. Sorry, I haven't copied. Copy this and paste it here. That's my hash table 2 for updating the supplier. So where should I get the supplier ID? Here supplier ID should be taken from the grid view. So instead of supplier ID, where should I pass the supplier ID? Here from the supplier text. Okay, one thing that I have done mistake here. Yes, inside the insert I have done the mistake, because I have taken the supplier ID. What you can do, you can cut it, you can write here supplier ID directly, because I have already created this variable, and you just pass this supplier ID variable here. That's fine. Now that's correct. And here you can specify the supplier ID at this point, that is the supplier ID. Okay, and then debit, opening balance, credit, all the things remains the same, and then date time dot now, purchase invoice ID should become the 0, and then that's it. Okay, so update supplier, and here the supplier table. Where is this query executing? Right, so one more thing that you have to change here is inside the insert code, you have to change this insert supplier ledger with st2, because st2 is this for this particular supplier ledger. Now the same thing you have to pass here as well. So copy this code and paste here after this, and here you can specify st2, but here you can write update supplier ledger. Do we have the update supplier ledger procedure? So we don't have update supplier ledger procedure. So let us copy the insert supplier ledger, this one, and come here and paste it, and here you can specify update supplier ledger, and all the things remains the same, and here you can specify as, and then update what? Supplier ledger. Okay, set the column names. Okay, the column names in the supplier ledger the first thing is the SL underscore supplier ID. Okay, one more thing that I must mention here is copy and first of all close this and then restart the SQL, because the IntelliSense is not working for your ease. So I have restarted the SQL server. Now if you write here SL underscore, so you will get definitely the IntelliSense once you have selected your database, that is BMS. So SL underscore, and then still it is taking time in order to load the, yes, now it's fine. So what are you are going to update? So SL underscore supplier ID, and then you have to specify SL underscore. Okay, why you are updating the supplier ID? You only have to update the opening balance. Yes, so here you can specify SL underscore opening balance. So balance equals to @balance, and you can specify the debit credit as well. So update these three things only. So comma SL underscore debit equals to @debit, and SL underscore credit equals to @credit, and the date as well, SL underscore date. Okay, no need to update the date. Where SL underscore supplier ID, because you are updating the data based on supplier ID, update @supplier ID. Okay, but the problem is when you run this query in this table, wherever it finds the supplier ID, it will update the every record. So it's a good practice to add another column, that is SL underscore description equals to opening balance. Opening, so only opening balance part will be updated. Okay, so that's the thing. So execute this now, but I don't need anything here. Description is not required, supplier ID is required, debit credit balance required, date is not required, purchase invoice ID is not required. So the threshold is the things are limited. Now execute. Commands completed successfully. Copy this, update supplier ledger and paste it here. And here you don't need the you need the supplier ID, debit, you don't need description because I have hard coded there, and the balance, debit, credits are required, purchase invoices and these things are not required. Now that's fine. So when the update procedure will happen after insertion in the supplier table, the supplier ledger will be updated only with this respect. That's it, and then the suppliers will be loaded and then the transaction will be finished. That's all. Now the next step is the delete code. So let us go to the roles window and copy the delete operation. So copy and go to the supplier window and paste it here. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, I want to delete. If dialog result is equal to yes, then delete supplier. So supplier ID. So do we have the delete procedure for supplier? Let me open the database and see inside the BMS programmability stored procedures, and let us check whether we have delete supplier or not. So guys, we have delete supplier here. So I am copying this stored procedure. Let me right click and modify it so that we can able to see what's inside that. So delete roles, here you specify delete supplier. Okay, and here you are going to pass supplier ID as a parameter. So here in the inside hash table you are passing supplier ID. Now here you can specify supplier text.text, delete it successfully, and here you can write load suppliers. Okay, that's it, and remove this. One more thing that you have to do is the cell grid click. So go here and go to the events and cell click. Come inside this, go on the roles window and then select the grid code. Copy, come inside the supplier and paste. So if column is not equal to -1 and row is not equal to -1, then come inside, disable the controls, make edit equals to 1. These all are the similar things that we have done in the previous lectures. Here I am going to select the supplier ID, and supplier ID will be picked up from the supplier ID GV column of the grid view, and then the supplier text. So supplier text.text, and it should be the supplier. So supplier ID, sorry, supplier GV. What else you need to specify here is supplier opening balance, right? So ob text dot text is equals to, copy and paste, and here you can specify the opening balance GV, obgv, that will be the column name. Yes, double quotes open and double quotes close. Now what else we should have to do? We have to call what else, the other details, name, address, phone, email. So here you can specify address, phone and email. So here it should be address text, it should be phone text, and it should be email text. Okay, and now it should be address GV, but we don't have any columns for address and all that. Okay, so we have to add the columns as well. So come here, edit columns, and here you can specify address GV, heading should be address visible read only, email GV, email visible read only, and phone GV and phone read only. Close. OK. So OK, the reordering should be there. Supplier name should be at the top, then address, email, you can get the phone number on the second part. Now it's fine. So that's it. Here, once you have specified, now you can specify address GV, and then you need to specify phone GV. OK, and then you need to specify email GV, email GV, and then double quotes, close, and then save it, and then what else we need? That's it. Now go at the top, and here you have to pass all other columns. Copy and paste and paste and paste. Supplier, after supplier name you need to pass the address GV. Okay, let us first go to the select query of this get suppliers. Where is that? Get suppliers, modify. Okay guys, so previously I have created this supplier ID and supplier name. Here I am going to select some other things, that is, after this I am showing it as a balance, and then comma. What else I need to do? S dot address as address, and then S dot email as email, and then S dot phone as phone. So everything you are picking up. Now it's fine. Execute. Commands complete successfully. Now first of all you are going to pass the ID, then the name, and then the balance. So here you can specify the balance. Okay, OBGV. Then the next column is address, email, phone. So here you can specify address GV, and here you should specify email GV, and then copy. The last thing is phone. Okay, so respectively I have passed the columns. Get suppliers, everything is now perfect. Where is this? What is this error? Why is this error coming here? What is this? Okay, so I have added an extra bracket. Let me remove it. Where I have added an extra bracket, I think this is the extra bracket that I have added. Now that's fine. So when you click the text, the data should be displayed. So up till now, according to me, everything is perfect. Now let us run and check whether it is working or not. View button is also completed now. Let's go to the home screen. Let's go to the suppliers. See the name of this button, supplier button. Double click on it and see you don't have this code. So copy and paste, and right here supplier window, paste it, and now run this program and see the efforts result. Alright, let's log in. So the username is Ali and the password is this 12345. Now suppliers. So you can see the records are there, the controls are disabled. When you click save, validations are working. Okay, now click add, validations are removing. Let us add the supplier. Let's say Gunny Traders. Address, site area, and then phone number 0345-0000000. Email gunny@abc.com. Opening balance, let me write here 0, and then click save. If everything is perfect, then it should be saved. So it is saying that there is a conflict in the following key. Yes, the purchase invoice. I think the error is coming with the purchase invoice because we don't have any purchase invoice right now. Okay, so we have to look after for this, but no problem. Let us go to the database and see what is the impact on this. Let us go to the supplier, right click on it and see whether the record is inserted or not. So you can see the data is there, but the supplier ledger is blank. The reason behind that is we have the purchase invoice for this. Okay, but our purchase invoice table is blank by default. There is no data inside the purchase invoice. That's why the record is not inserted here in this purchase in this supplier ledger. But no worries, we'll find some solution for this. That's all for today. The time is so much above the limit, so let's stop it. And if you do not understand anything, please do write me. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.